Finally, and Greg went into a little anecdotal example of this, but I have talked a lot about the need to incorporate the diversity of our city into our decision-making process. He mentioned the photos in my conference room, so there's 20 of them. And they're the kids of Oklahoma City, but they weren't randomly chosen. I chose subjects that were demographically representative of our kids. And under the age of 18 in Oklahoma City, the kids of Oklahoma City, is 60% non-white. And you know, that's, if you've lived in the city all your life, or if you're from outside of the city, I find that that's a somewhat surprising statistic to people. And I felt like we needed a visual representation so that everybody could start getting their minds around it. And that's a symbolic step, what I did in my conference room, but more substantively, you know, I use my platform as mayor to get people out of their bubbles. We all live in our bubbles, and it's a 620 square mile city. It's one of the 5 largest cities in the United States, so we can quite physically live in our own bubbles. And I need everybody in the city to see the diversity of our city and to see the different cultures and empathize. I mean, it's the only way that 650,000 people can live in this close proximity to each other, is to really understand each other and empathize and see the diversity of our city for what an amazing and beautiful thing it is. I also, even more substantively, have hundreds, if not thousands, of appointments to boards and commissions. One local media outlet recently did a study and found that our boards and commissions are 90% white, are probably 90% male would be my guess. And I would also suppose that they're probably overwhelmingly older and representative of Northwest Oklahoma City. We had, previous to me, we had 35 mayors, and all 35 came from Northwest Oklahoma City. And I did everything I could to make it 36. But I wanted, obviously, very much to be a mayor for the whole city. So when I talk about diversity, it's not just about ethnic diversity. That's what you think of first, but it's age diversity. We need millennials like AJ to get off the phone and step up. I'm totally teasing. That's so mean. I'm on my phone all the time. It was too easy. Softball. And obviously we need people, we need different generations to be involved, we need people from across the city, we need more gender diversity, we need obviously more ethnic diversity, all of those things. Again, because we can't move forward as a community with just everything being run by the traditional power structure. And so that's an ongoing process. And a big part of it is what the conversation we're having here today. When I was running for mayor, people might ask me, and they did, what's your plan for Northeast Oklahoma City? And that's a reasonable question. And the sentiment behind it is certainly spot on, but I think it's I always thought it was the wrong question. Because to me, the question is, Mayor Holt, what are you willing to do to see the vision realized that is created by the people of Northwest Oklahoma City? It should not be my job to tell people of Northwest Oklahoma City what their outcome should be, what their vision should be. It is my job to use all the tools at the city's disposal and at my personal disposal and all the talents that I have and all the experience that I've obtained through 15 years of being around this stuff to help the people of Northwest Oklahoma City realize their vision for this place. And so, now what's been interesting as I came into office was a lot of times that vision gets funneled through leaders. That's efficient, that's how the world works, that makes sense. We had an immediate, as soon as I got in, change in the council from Ward 7. And simultaneous to that, we have legislators leaving the Senate seat, leaving the House seat, county commissioner, obviously a great former Ward 7 councilperson, Willa Johnson, is retiring. So there's just this total departure and changeover in the leadership of Northeast Oklahoma City. So it's a little hard in that first 6 months to sort of bring all the leaders around a table, at least the elected leaders, there's obviously lots of different leadership structures in any community, but you usually start with the elected leadership when you're the mayor, and so it was kind of hard, to have that conversation. But I think as we move forward, that conversation is coming. There needs to be a real formal and thoughtful vision for Northeast Oklahoma City. And it's really interesting to sit here and listen to all these reports, because this is clearly the kind of place where it starts, and it's got to have buy-in from all different, obviously, sectors of Northeast Oklahoma City, but that process seems to be underway. So my hat's off to the Lynn Institute for doing that and pushing that forward. And so I think that's still a story to be written in the months ahead. But I really think I want, 6 months from now, certainly a year from now, to have a very clear idea of what it is that Northeast Oklahoma City needs and wants. And the mechanisms at my disposal are all of those that belong to the city, and plus some neat, exciting opportunities that you only get every 10 years or so, like MAPS 4, which happens to be coming here in this next year. Probably a vote, by the way, in late 2019. So, I mean, this is kind of our window to dream big. And that's one mechanism, but there's many others. And all of the forces of the city need to be aligned to execute a vision that I think this community is creating right now. And I'll certainly be a force trying to bring all the different. I've spent enough time in Northeast to know nothing's monolithic. There's all kinds of different groups of people, but we all need to be pulling on the same rope eventually. And so I definitely see the need for a kind of a strategic vision that everybody's unified behind in Northeast Oklahoma City, but I see that happening even as we sit here today. And I look forward to continuing that conversation. So those are a few just sort of big picture thoughts. I know, there are obviously very specific things in Northeast that we've been working on forever, like the Senior Wellness Center. It is coming. The grocery store we'd like to see probably on Northeast 23rd. We still have a conversation about that every few days. I mean, those things haven't. So I know some of the things that Northeast Oklahoma City wants and needs, but I think we need to develop an even stronger and more specific vision in the months ahead. But that's on my list, but I'm glad to know it's not just on my list. It's clearly happening right now. So thank you so much for having me. Thanks for your investment in time, not just here at lunch, obviously, but in what you've done to put together this work. And as we work on projects, I see JB, as we work on that project in Northeast 23rd, and even a broader vision of what's going to happen in Northeast Oklahoma City. Please consider me a friend, ally, and as accessible as you want me to be. And I'm honored to have had this opportunity to speak to you today. So thank you.